Welcome to the ACC on ESPN. We're in Cary, North Carolina at the Wake Med Soccer Park. The ACC championship on the line. Florida State, the defending national champs. Virginia, the ACC regular season champions. Here's a look at our bracket and where we are today. A dominating victory for Virginia over Clemson. It was a dogfight between North Carolina and Florida State, with the Noles advancing to the title game. Hi, everybody. I'm Trey Bender alongside the former national team star, Cat Whitehill. Glad you're with us. You could not write a better script for this one. A rematch of the College Cup, rematch of the ACC title game a year ago, and these teams meeting the regular season. It was decided on a PK.
All of those games decided by one goal. Very similar styles from both these teams, very possession-oriented. They like to get outside. Flank play is critical. But whoever wins the midfield today will most likely win this game.
Let's go back 2 weeks ago and see how it played out between these two.
Well, it's an extremely controversial ending to this game, and it's unfortunate for Florida State because the referee called a handball on Kirsten Crowley on this play. You can see she got an automatic red card. But on further look, it hit her hip. There was no handball at all. Alexis Schaffer finishes the penalty kick, and that is how the game ended, with FSU playing with 10 players for most of that game.
Now, Florida State's going to rely on Shayna Williams up front on the attack. She's their leading scorer.
Well, and she is a special player. She is tall and strong up front. She is their target forward for Florida State. But what makes her special is that she stretches the defense. She's so good at getting behind opposing defenses and just finishing when she gets those opportunities. And on the other side of the ball for Virginia, Mackenzie Doniak and Alexis Schaffer are key for Virginia's attack today. They combined here against Clemson on Friday night to get a goal. But if they interchange well against FSU defense, it's going to be difficult for Florida State to deal with those two.
Two schools with plenty of offense, but recent history suggests a 1-0 game could be in the cards. The Noles and the Cavs for the ACC title. PNU Women's College Soccer is brought to you by Angry Orchard Hard Cider. Explore the orchard. We're back in Cary as we take a look at the Seminoles starting lineup.
And they're starting in a 4-2-3-1. It's typical of Florida State. Megan Connolly in the midfield. She's midfielder of the year in the ACC and freshman of the year. She's very dangerous running at the back line with the ball. She's very good at slipping in her forward. And Virginia with a major change. They're starting in a 3-5-2. Typically, they're in a 4-4-2. So they're really going to depend on Emily Sonnet in the back. She got her first cap with the U.S. national team a week ago. And she's going to have to deal with the fast Shayna Williams up front for Florida State.
Florida State has won 3 of the last 4 ACC titles. Virginia, the consensus #1. Great matchup here. A little bit chilly in the 50s. A little wind coming out of the north. And we are underway. The Seminoles and the Cavaliers know each other so well, and they've played some big games on the big stage.
Well, they really have. I mean, last year, regular season went to Florida State, ACC championship went to Florida State, national championship went to Florida State. This year, the regular season went to Virginia. Can Virginia repay the favor from last year? It'll be interesting to see how this game plays out. But you're right, it's cold, and it was warm on Friday, so these teams are probably happy it's a little bit chillier.
Virginia 16-1-1, 9-1 in the ACC. Megan Campbell is key for the defense for Florida State, second team all ACC. There she is, number 6 from Ireland.
And watch out for her long throw-ins. Her throw-ins are better than corner kicks for Florida State because of how driven. They have an amazing range to them. If I were a defender, I would almost kick it out for a corner kick because of how dangerous Florida State has been on her long throws.
There you see Shayna Williams. We talked about her in the open, first team all ACC. 5 game-winning goals for Florida State. Coy Visto, third team all ACC, all conference players dotting the rosters. Played into the box. Schaffer punches it out of there. Here's Torres defending for Virginia, a senior.
Well, the reason why Virginia is starting in this 5 midfielder situation is because of the Florida State midfield. They have just been so good, and Steve Swanson felt like last year a lot of times the reason why Florida State was winning was because they were dominating them in the midfield area. And in the regular season game, Virginia also went to the 3-5-2, and so they're doing it again here with Alexis Schaffer being a little bit deeper, and it gives her more space on the ball.
Here's Casey Tillman, ACC all-freshman. Over to Koivisto, outside the box, across, and it's cleared out of there by Virginia. Virginia tied by Pepperdine, a loss to Notre Dame in overtime. Otherwise, they have been unbelievably consistent. 16-1-1.
And it's interesting, Coach Steve Swanson says they still haven't put together a full 90 minutes. And I'm like, well, how is that possible when you've done so well this season? You have been consistent, and Steve Swanson is just a perfectionist. He wants his team to be, you know, complete every single game, and it just shows you what an amazing team this is, that even though they haven't played perfect for 90 minutes, they're still winning games and #1 in the polls.
Seminoles with possession. Carson Pickett playing up. Here's Williams in the box, makes the move with the left foot. And turned away by Emily Sonnet. That's a matchup to keep an eye on.
Yeah, because in the last game in the regular season, Sonnet wasn't there. She was called up with the full national team for the U.S. and a couple of other players from Florida State, like Megan Campbell, who's taking this long throw, weren't there either for European qualification. So different players on the field than when they met a couple weeks ago.
Here's Campbell. And a Virginia player going down there. That was Betsy Brandon.
This throw in on the flick just goes right, or looks like Crowley just missed it and goes right into Brandon's face. Referee has to stop it on any kind of head injury right away, so that's why the game was stopped so quickly.
Freshman from Littleton, Colorado, ACC all-freshman pick. Here's Morgan Stearns, tops in the ACC goals against average this year. Junior from San Antonio. And it's blocked by Williams, and she almost makes something happen here in the early stages.
That's something that Virginia really needs to work on. They love to play out of the back so they can build slowly, get their outside backs forward. But sometimes they just get a little too lackadaisical in the back. And Shayna Williams almost made Virginia pay for when Stearns should have just cleared it a lot earlier.
Boy, that was a great individual effort. And that would have really set the tone in this one. Florida State now with Connolly playing it ahead. Kuika. Ratcliffe is there for Virginia. Kuika gets possession back, and then it's taken away. Good play by Megan Cox.
Florida State, they've come to play. Virginia is just having to wake up a little bit. They're just making, Florida State is just running all over the place. They're so fluid in the attack, and Virginia just seems a bit confused in the back.
Do you think they have a chip on their shoulder after that 1-0 loss?
Oh, yeah. With that controversial call, too, they know that they could have won that game.
Torres in the corner. Here, it's knocked out by Kuika. Megan Cox to throw it in. And they had the success last year against the Cavs, so they feel like it's what they believe is theirs. Outside the box, a shot on goal, and it's turned away by Cassie Miller, up and over.
When Doniak's complaining for a handball on Megan Campbell, but if she had just kept going afterwards, she could have gotten the ball right there, but instead, Virginia does keep going, and somehow Doniak gets the ball and gets a shot off, but a nice tip over the bar from Miller.
The ACC Offensive Player of the Year almost had a goal, and now a corner for Virginia. They've had a bunch of them this year. Top of the box. Koivisto was in there. Here's Ruther, crosses it, gets it back. Ruther with the left foot, cleared out of there. So Virginia, the aggressors here the last couple minutes.
Well done from McNabb there to get back on Tillman, because it was Shayna Williams looking into that space, but McNabb forced Tillman to put her foot on the ball and play it backwards.
Megan Campbell plays it up the left sideline. A collision right there as Campbell runs into Doniak.
Well, it looks like the two center backs from Florida State are really keying on Doniak. This is the second time she's been on the ground. First time that Florida State's been called for it, and Campbell tries to intercept the ball, but went through Doniak to get it. That's why she got the call against her, but it's going to be a physical match up front.
Courtney Peterson plays it ahead, a one-hopper to Cassie Miller. How about the lineup switch? Peterson, 3 goals this year in as a starter. We didn't expect that coming into this one.
We didn't. Typically, Tina Iordanu starts in the back because they typically play a 4-back system, but with the midfield of Florida State, Steve Swanson just wanted another body in there.
And Campbell having some trouble over there, and a good defensive play, and Doniak knocks it out. College basketball is back on ESPNU Friday night as Coach K and the Blue Devils host the Siena Saints at Cameron Indoor, 7 Eastern. Then at 9, you don't want to miss the chance to see Ben Simmons play his first game for LSU as McNeese State takes a two-hour drive down Route 10 to Baton Rouge for a meeting with the Tigers. Both games also streaming live on Watch ESPN. Scoreless here, ACC title on the line, Florida State and Virginia, and here's Doniak. She has an opportunity one-on-one with the left foot cross, not there.
Florida State, Megan Campbell decided to step at the last minute, which Carson Pickett wasn't ready for, which is what kept Doniak onside. And she has a tough angle to try and finish there. Campbell takes away her right foot, forces Doniak to her left, and just misses that far post. But that's dangerous from Florida State. They need to be on the same page communication-wise.
3 shots for Virginia, a shot on goal for Doniak. She has 8 goals, 10 assists this year. Florida State, the aggressors early. Now it's been Virginia since the early stages. And Cavalier down Morgan Ruther. Campbell the big throw in.
What's interesting, in these first 10 minutes, you're right, Florida State for the first 5 minutes was really on the attacking side, and now it's been Virginia for the next 5 minutes, but this has been a much more physical match than typical. A lot of times these teams, they like to build up slowly, keep the ball, possess it, and just play around and combine, but this has just been a very tough matchup for both these teams. You can tell that FSU definitely has a chip on their shoulder from the last game, and Virginia, they probably still have a chip on their shoulder from the National Championship and ACC Championship from last year. I know, as a player, I never forgot.
It stays with you a while, but you can use that as a positive. They're hoping that they can duplicate what they did in the regular season. Back to Cassie Miller, the sophomore from Cave Creek, Arizona, the goalkeeper. Here's Koivisto. Trying to cross it, but Doniak is there, and she gives it away. It's a steal. Cuica, the shot, and the goal! An error by Virginia is costly. The passing error, and Cuica gets her 6th goal of the season, and the Noles strike first.
Well, and Doniak's reaction just said it all after Cuica scored the goal. She did such a good job of coming back and intercepting it and didn't see Cuica out of the corner of her eye. And Megan Cox was not ready for it either, and it's tough when you're in a 3-back system with a turnover like that. Just a couple little touches from Cuica, and Sonnet's just a little too far back, and what an excellent finish there from Natalia Cuica.
ACC all-freshman from Finland. And that's got to be so frustrating for Virginia to give the goal away there. No assist in the goal by Natalie Cuica. Now we've seen a lot of 1-0 games. Will that be enough?
Based on how this game has just been in these first 13 minutes, no, I think there's going to be more goal scoring than we're used to in the Virginia-Florida State matchup.
10 yards, White, 10 yards.
Play it over to Koivisto, third team all ACC. On the move. Here's Tillman. Tillman with the cross, and it's turned away. Isabella Schmid from Germany, the senior. Here's Schmid in the middle. Touch pass, gets it back. And a pretty good effort there from Florida State.
Well, Schmid from Florida State is sometimes plays on the outside back. She's playing defensive midfielder right now, and Coach Mark Krikorian called her one of the best overall soccer players on his team, and it's nice to have someone that's so versatile that you can plug into the midfield if needed.
Schmid was ACC third team pick a year ago. Tillman bump there. It'll be throw in for Florida State. A passing error by Doniak resulting in a goal by Cuica in the 12th minute here in this ACC title game. And the Noles have it again with Schmid. Wide for Pickett. Cuica now. Cross. Headed out of there by Sonnet. Shot from distance. Rolled up there. And Stearns is there.
Number 8, Michaela Hahn.
That was Michaela Hahn, the senior.
I love the pace of this game so far. Both these teams are just flying up and down the field. They're still possessing it, but it's quick touches. There's no indecisiveness from either team.
Here's Tillman, the freshman. Two defenders over there. Schmid. Left-footed cross, and that went off of Cox, and that'll be a corner for Florida State. Their first.
Corner kick, Florida State. Number 3, Megan Connolly.
You know, it's tough when you are used to a 4-back system to go into a 3-back, especially as an outside back, because you're not used to all that space on that flank play. So it's something that Cox and McNabb are going to have to get used to.
Megan Connolly with the corner. Near post. Punched out of there, and now a counter for Virginia. Doniak was running to the left, and it's turned away as Koivisto is there.
Well, Ratcliffe does a nice job on that transition, but Doniak was just too far away. She needs to get in between the two center backs, and she was on the outside of the far center back, and that was just a difficult ball for Ratcliffe to reach.
Schmid again, setting the table. It's Michaela Hahn to the far side for Pickett. Pickett with a cross. Sonnet is there, still in play. Connolly high on that shot.
Florida State shot by number 3, Megan Connolly.
So Mark Krikorian has to be pleased with what he has seen so far. Great start with the energy early on. They were on their heels a little bit, and then they got it back and got a break with that passing error.
Yeah, he has to be happy. I mean, he knows that both of these teams are very evenly matched, and so it's going, there's going to be waves of attacks for both teams, and it's how does his defense handle Virginia's attack? Can they defend well, and can they make the most of their opportunities? Because when one team gets the ball, it's difficult to win it back. So when you do, you want to make the most of those opportunities.
Throw in for
Virginia.
Florida State here. Krikorian, 7 College Cup appearances, 3 national title game trips, 3 ACC regular season titles, and trying to win another postseason tournament title. They've won 3 of the last 4. 2 fouls on each side. Pickett. Hahn will play it over for Campbell. Top of the box. And maybe another counter here. Nope, turned back by the Noles again. Schmid for Williams. We got to know where Williams is at all times, and Sonnet is usually the person that is defending her. The 3rd foul.
And this is a dangerous situation for Virginia. This is a spot where Florida State can either shoot it or maybe even to chip it onto one of their runners in the box. So Virginia has to be ready for whichever Florida State chooses to do.
Carson Pickett and Megan Connolly over the ball. It'll be Pickett with the shot, a good one, a little bit high. Virginia is going to have a substitution coming up here. 2 of them.
Well, this is Pickett. She gets it over the wall, but the dip didn't come until late.
By number 16, Carson Pickett.
That's a tough spot because you're in that, like I said, that betweener stage where you could either give a little chip or shoot it. That's why it goes over the bar.
Replacing number 6, Courtney Peterson.
Now Tina Iordano is going to come in for Courtney Peterson here. She was originally going to be our starter, and also Veronica Latsko, a sophomore forward. Virginia will have possession.
Come on, man. Let him call it.
Foul, Florida State.
3rd foul on Florida State.
Back it up.
You talked about the Schaffer-Doniak combination.
Let's not be so quick on that flag. Let him ref the game.
That's their best option. What else could they look for here?
Get inside of him.
Well, they need to start playing Ratcliffe and Torres out wide. They need to get some more crosses in there. They're just kind of forcing everything down the middle.
There's a battle for it. And the Noles clear it out. That was Latsko in the middle of things there for Virginia. And now breaking is Tillman. And a good job getting back by Emily Sonnet.
Yeah, very good from Sonnet there. Tillman, if she had beaten Sonnet to the ball, there was 4 FSU players running into the attack and only 2 Virginia players. in the area, so that could have been a really dangerous counterattack for Florida State.
Torres, Tillman beats her to the ball, and now a Seminole shaken up. Calling for the trainer here in the first half. One nothing. Our goal in the 12th minute by Natalie Kuika, her 6th goal this season. You know, bumps and bruises, you've been through this. Bumps and bruises at the tail end of the season. It's a buildup, isn't it?
Yeah.
Over time?
Yeah, I mean, it's just tough. You know, a lot of coaches have struggled with the tournament because they're so afraid of injuries, and you just never want to see a player go down this late in the season, especially one like Megan Campbell, who's so critical for this team, and you just hope that she's okay.
Is it a cumulative thing, some of these injury, the muscles and the bruises and those kind of things?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think this one particularly doesn't look necessarily like it, but it's something that like Mackenzie Doniak for Virginia has been dealing with. You know, a groin injury and then a hamstring injury, and it's with so many games in such a little time, it's hard to really get back, you know, and feel 100%. And you know, that's tough because you know it's a 3-month season. You have a lot of games. So I think it is one of those things that just adds up, but you got to get used to it, especially when you're an older player. You know that that's going to happen, and you get used to playing through it.
Megan Campbell off the field, dealing with an injury here, and she's a key part of that defense. Florida State 14-2-3, number 1 in the RPI, even though Virginia's consensus number 1. These are two teams that could be playing in the College Cup again this year.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's another rematch in that national championship game or in the College Cup, depending on how the seedings work out. I mean, these two teams have been so strong. They play such beautiful soccer, and the depth has been so key. I mean, Veronica Lasko that just came in up front, she is a great spark off the bench for Virginia. She's fast, and she scored against Clemson. And then on the other side, you have Jensen coming in off the bench, who has started a lot of games for Florida State. And that's a big difference when you can insert players and not really have any letdown at any point in the game.
Megan Cox to throw it in for Virginia. Trying to answer a 12th minute goal from Florida State. It's a cross, it gets through a couple players and cleared out of there by Kristen Crowley. And that's punched ahead by Torres, but Miller's there. After our game today, we've got the SEC Women's Soccer Championship for you at 2 Eastern. The top seeded and number 5 Florida Gators take on 2-time defending champ Texas A&M. Aggies haven't given up a goal in the SEC tourney since the 2013 championship game. Today at 2 on ESPNU, also streaming live on Watch ESPN. How about the Aggies and that defense?
Yeah, I'd be surprised though if they don't allow Florida with a goal, because Savannah Jordan is just a goal-scoring machine for the Florida Gators, and you know they had an excellent matchup earlier in the season, so that's a fun game to watch after us.
1-0 here. Virginia with possession. Here's Iordano, junior from Upper Brookville, New York, playing it ahead. And they keep possession. Torres, Schaffer plays it wide. Kuika the other way for Florida State.
But even though Schaffer missed on that last switch, I like that from Schaffer. They need to when they're on the left side, get into the midfield and find it quickly on the right side. That's the only way that they're going to really find any kind of avenue to the goal because of how tough this Florida State defense is. They need quick change of point, a quick burst of speed, and then get a good cross in with the oncoming runners in the box.
You saw Berglind Thorvaldsdottir, junior from Iceland, coming in for Shayna Williams, so they give Williams a breather here. Their top scorer with the 1-0 lead here in the first half.
Well, it's no surprise that Thorvaldsdottir's coming in for Williams. They've done this all year. It's just a little different look for Florida State. Thorvaldsdottir is more of a target style forward, help build in the attack.
Megan Connolly with a cross over the head of a Knoll, but Tillman is there on the other side, and it's knocked out. A corner coming up. It's their second. Here's the cross.
Connolly finds a little open space, and Thorvaldsdottir's close to the ball, just goes right over her head, and Tillman wanted to one-touch it right back to Thorvaldsdottir, and instead Virginia puts it out for a corner.
Carson Pickett, the senior, third-team All-ACC with the corner kick. Far post, punched out of there with the left hand by Stearns.
Well, that was an interesting punch there from Stearns. She was falling backwards.
Corner kick, Florida State.
And it looked like she was caught off guard at where the ball landed on that one. So fortunate that she was able to tip it over.
There's a little bit of wind coming out of the north. Don't know if that affected her there, but Conley now corner from the other side. Near post, and that was kind of testy for Virginia.
Corner kick.
And another corner.
State. Number 16, Carson Pickett.
Now Pickett on the other side. Left foot, right foot, left foot. Far post. And Virginia gets it out of there. Ratcliffe heading it out of trouble. And here's an opportunity for Schaffer. Does not have numbers though. 4 Knolls are back. And then it's broken up. Crowley coming in late. No shot the last 15 minutes for Virginia.
Well, honestly, Doniak should have pulled a Carly Lloyd from the Women's World Cup. If she had looked up, Cassie Miller was very far off her line. She had a little bit of space, and if she had just, gone for the long-range shot, could have been a good opportunity because there was 4 defenders from Florida State back there to defend that.
Koivisto can't keep it in play. The defending national champs, Florida State, against the ACC regular season champs and the #1 team, Virginia. What a matchup here in the ACC title game. Already 4 corners for Florida State today. Virginia only gives up 2.6 per game, so they have been the aggressors in this one.
And Virginia's only had 1 corner kick, and they average over 8 corners a game, so an interesting stat.
Koivisto will give way to Campbell here, who's back in after she was shaken up a little bit. That's her specialty, that throw-in you talked about. Schmid, and here's Hahn. Kuika has that broken up by Megan Cox.
That was a bad call from the referee. That was an obvious deflection off the Virginia defense, and they give them the throw.
Schmid will play it wide to Koivisto. Here's Tillman, but broken up. Sonnet. And another Knowles throw-in. What about the Virginia 3-5-2 alignment to open up? We thought they'd be in a different look Yeah, are they back in that now?
Yeah, they're back in the 4-4-2. Since Iordanu came into the game, she's gone to left back. Ratcliffe has gone more onto the right side, which she's more comfortable with. One of her greatest strengths is her speed and her 1v1 ability on the flanks and getting those crosses in. And when she plays in that attacking midfielder role, she's not able to do that as much. They still have Schaffer drop back a little bit at points during the game to give her some space to run into it. But now that she's up a little bit higher, her and Doniak can start to connect a little bit more and find combination play in their attacking third.
Brandon and Schmid battling their Cox coming over to help out. Just one corner, you mentioned it, by Virginia. There's a bump right there and a Cavalier down. Brandon will play it wide for Emily Sonnet. That's actually Iordano. Sonnet right behind her. Well, there seemed to be a lot of maroon jerseys back there on defense. Now, Virginia running with Cox. Cox makes a move, and Campbell's there. But Campbell like a brick wall back there.
Well, I mean, she's a special defender. She can play outside back. She can play center back, and she's been a difference maker for Florida State. It's just so difficult to score against this back four, and including Miller in the goal and the two defensive mids of Florida State. It's just tough to find any kind of space.
Opportunity in there for Iordano, but the Noles turn him back.
Go ahead.
And they'll play it back for Morgan Stearns. The goal in this one in the 12th minute by Natalie Kuika, coming off a bad pass from Doniak. That ended up being the goal from Florida State. And look at this drought, over 21 minutes now. Corner coming up. Alexis Schaffer, their leading goal scorer, with the corner. Virginia will bring in Ian Adu as a substitute. There's the corner. Iordano back in there. The header in front. Second time. Still nothing. And finally the goal for Virginia. They stayed after it. Iordano was in the middle of things there. Doniak's going to get the goal. Her 9th of the year, and we're tied at 1.
Well, I was just about to say Virginia gets a lot of corner kicks, but they really need to execute them here. And this time, it was Virginia. Betsy Brandon gets the first initial header, then Doniak. And Florida State has so many players back there, but Doniak just stays with it, and she's able to get the finish. A great ball in from Iordanu. Brandon wide open. Florida State needs to do a better job of marking in the box. It's difficult when you've already been marking, then you need to remark. And Virginia found the wide open players, tied 1-1.
And Doniak, the ACC Offensive Player of the Year, has now tied the career record goals scored at Virginia with that one. 1-1. 32nd minute.
I can't believe it. It's 1-1. It's not 1-0. It's a weird scoring line for Florida State and Virginia.
And you sense that we could see some goals scored here, just the pace and the way things have opened up.
Yeah, the pace has just been so quick. You're used to seeing it just very methodical and possession-oriented, but these teams are going after it today.
And here's Doniak with another opportunity. Makes her move with the left foot shot, and it's turned away by Miller. Momentum now on the Cavs side.
Well, Megan Campbell does a nice job of forcing her again to her left foot. That's the second time that Campbell's done this and taken away the angle of Doniak, and that just makes the save for Cassie Miller so much easier because she can just cover a lot less space. So well done from Campbell defensively.
Adu on the far side. Giordano. Junior with a nice move against Tillman. Plays it ahead. Do we have a great women's volleyball matchup for you next Thursday night on ESPNU? Not only are Stanford and Washington two of the Pac-12's best, but they're two of the nation's best. Cardinal Huskies, 11 Eastern time, also streaming live on Watch ESPN. Great one here, as anticipated. Two of the top teams in the country squaring off for the ACC championship, Florida State and Virginia. 1-1, 12th minute goal by Kuika for Florida State. Doniak with the answer in the 32nd minute for Virginia. And there's offside.
Offside, Florida State.
The first.
When you can just tell that the Virginia defense is much more comfortable in this four-back. With McNabb and Sonnet anchoring the center of defense for them, they just are on the same page. They know where the Florida State attackers are a lot better, and they just seem to be in the right spots now. That's why you haven't really seen much from Florida State since Virginia went back into that four-back.
The thinking with the switch in the starting lineup, they've gone back to what they're used to. Here's Ratcliffe now with the move. Ratcliffe with a cross in front. Campbell got her foot on it.
Well, they did it in the first meeting in the regular season, and it was a success. They mainly did it for the midfield to have a evenly matched numbers-wise in the middle of the midfield, but also because Sonnet wasn't there for Virginia, so they had to kind of readjust to the fact that she wasn't anchoring their back line. Well, now with the back four, you can just tell that that's what they need to stick to for the rest of the game.
Florida State will bring in Eileen Jensen, freshman from Iceland, and Virginia with a move as well. Montana Sutton, a freshman midfielder, comes onto the field. A lot on the line here. Maybe a #1 seed in the NCAA tournament. Seeds will be announced tomorrow.
Well, I think without a doubt, whoever wins this game will get a #1 seed. The key will be if Florida State were to lose, I'm not sure if they would get a #1 seed. I think Virginia has a good chance, but it would be it's a definite, in my opinion, that the winner gets that #1.
4:30 Eastern time. Check out that selection show as they unveil the brackets. The ACC, there will be plenty represented. 6 at least, maybe 8. This is talk.
I think 8, absolutely, without a doubt in my mind. But you never know with the NCAA.
We'll delve into that further at halftime. Giordano through traffic. How about Doniak here in the first half? Despite that passing error early, she has 6 of 8 shots from Virginia in this one.
Well, she made up for that pass very nicely by getting the game-tying goal.
Coach Steve Swanson, one of the elite coaches in the country, 355 wins at Virginia, a couple ACC titles, 15 NCAA trips.
He's also an assistant coach for the U.S. this summer, who won the World Cup.
NCAA finalist last year. We talked about the 1-0 loss to Florida State last year. He was 23-3 as a coach last year. New life from Virginia. They're playing with a lot more energy now after that goal from Doniak. Kuika.
What's interesting, since that goal from Doniak, now the game has suddenly slowed down to the normal pace of a Virginia-Florida State game. They're really starting to work on building up and finding the right players and getting good movement. And it's been a bit even since Doniak scored to tie it up.
Dallas Dorsey's going to come in for Isabella Schmid, Florida State substitution. Throw in for the Seminoles. Well, Shayna Williams was substituted for, and when they led 1-0, we've not seen her since.
Well, they can't come back in the first half. They can return in the second half. So,
will she be a factor in the second half? She was kind of quiet.
She's quiet, but it's someone that you have to pay attention to with how fast she is. You have to make sure that you're marking, passing off well, dropping a little bit more because her speed is so dangerous. And that's really what she gives you. Even if she's not touching the ball, she's making sure that the center backs know that she's right on the edge and ready to get in behind.
She was a College Cup Most Outstanding Player on offense last year. We'll look for her in the second half. Florida State now with an opportunity. Here's Connolly. Kuika wide. The cross, top of the box, shot, and it was deflected. That was an opportunity. Dorsey. Brittany Ratcliffe. Sonnet, ACC Defensive Player of the Year, punches it ahead. And there's Campbell again.
It's just been a great battle between Campbell and Doniak this whole first half.
Connolly playing it wide for Pickett. Late stages, first half, 1-1. ACC title on the line. Virginia, the consensus #1. Coming off a 5-0 win over Clemson in the semifinal. Florida State beating North Carolina 2-1 in the other semi.
And that 5-0 is an interesting scoreline because it was 0-0 at half. And then Virginia goes and scores 5 goals in the second half.
Their coach saying the passing was better in that second half.
Passing, and they dropped Schaffer back like they started out at this game. They dropped her back a little bit more against Clemson, and it just opened the game up a little bit more for her, and she was able to play make better from a deeper position.
Foul, Florida State.
So foul, the 5th on Florida State. Couple minutes to work with here for Virginia.
Don't let her pick this up. Organize you two. Yep.
Need to get tight!
Mid slide, let's go! Close it, don't let her serve. Get her head down. Good.
Here's Cox making a move against Pickett. Pickett got a left foot on it, and a corner coming up. The third of the game for Virginia. Chance to try to make something happen here with under 2 minutes to go, first half. Schaffer. Sonnet will play it back to Schaffer. With the left foot. And Miller is there.
Great ball in, though, from Schaffer. Miller makes the right decision and come out when she does, but if there had been a slashing Virginia player right in front of that ball, that was a great cross in from Schaffer.
Under a minute to go now.
Offside Florida State, less than 1 minute remaining.
Yes, we have had 2 goals scored between these two. And Virginia has the momentum here, you'd say, after the second goal?
I'd say it's been about actually even for the first time this game. It's been a back and forth.
That was Thorvald's daughter in the box there.
It seems like Virginia is a bit more dynamic in their runs, but Florida State's still getting into the attacking third a little bit, getting some crosses in since the goal.
Waning seconds here. Campbell the throw in.
Ten, 9, 8.
Headed
7,
up and over
6,
the bar.
5, 4,
And that's going to wrap
3,
up this first
2,
half from Cary,
1,
North Carolina.
0.
As anticipated, a very exciting matchup. 2 of the top teams in the country, Virginia and Florida State, tied at 1.
Well, I mean, it's been an excellent first half. Both of these teams really came out strong, ready to go. It's just been a high, fast-paced game that, you know, if they can continue this in the second half, it's going to be an excellent ACC championship game.
Virginia, the consensus #1. Florida State, #1 RPI team, the defending national champions. And we talked about the 1-0 win by Virginia in the regular season. That was a Schaffer PK that ended up being the difference there. These teams so evenly matched, and we could have a very exciting finish, but it was a good rally by Virginia to square this thing. We're joined now by Steve Swanson. Coach, Doniak had an error there, and she really responded and was attacking there late in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, that's Mac. I mean, she's got a big heart. I think she took that personally, so you could just see that the rest of the half. So hopefully she can do that the rest of the game too, because when she's motivated like that, there's not much stopping her.
Well, you started in a 3-5-2, and then you went back to the 4-4-2. Do you think that you'll continue in the 4-4-2?
Yeah, we were a little bit out of shape. We didn't handle their outside backs getting forward as well as I would have liked. We gave them a little too much space. So, we tried that system the last time, and it's really not about the system, but more about how we're playing. And I just felt we're a little more comfortable in our 4-4-2 shape, but we just didn't. Like I said, their outside backs were bombing forward on us, and we had to do something about that.
Coach, thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Halftime 1-1, Florida State and Virginia, the ACC championship on the line. 2 of the top teams in the country, and we're all even. A lot at stake, a trophy, and the postseason red hot here in North Carolina. Halftime coming up. It's halftime in Cary, North Carolina at the ACC Championship, and a good one between the Seminoles and the Cavs. Florida State and Virginia tied at 1. Florida State got off to the quick start thanks to an error by Doniak, and she really responded. Shows a lot of character from this team.
Well, Mackenzie Doniak she's a high-quality international player. She played for the U20s, and she just knows that you can't let that affect the rest of the game because she's so important for this Virginia team. And she was all over the field. She was just very involved for Virginia and just been a key, and then got the game-tying goal.
Well, let's take a look at what we have seen so far in this matchup. Virginia and Florida State 1-1, and what's at stake here. We talked about a #1 seed. Virginia possibly could get it. Will Florida State be a 1 seed? That remains to be seen.
That does remain to be seen. It depends on if Florida State wins today. I think, yes, they definitely get it. If they lose, I'm not sure that they get that number 1 seed, but I do think you're looking at the top 10 of the ACC. I think 8 teams from this conference go, and I think they deserve to go. This is the best conference in women's soccer, and day in and day out it's difficult. So those losses aren't as bad as some other losses from other conferences. And right there, Boston College is 34 RPI, and that's the 8th team. I think Louisville is on the outside looking in. Their RPI just isn't good enough. But that's a lot of teams from one conference. The ACC is used to having that many teams go in the NCAA tournament, and I think it's deserved, especially this year.
Well, a lot of respect for the ACC. They've had 6 teams at least make it each of the last 16 years, and it's going to be another season where the ACC is well represented in the NCAAs. We're all even here. The Seminoles and Cavs 1-1 at the break in Cary, North Carolina. It's halftime, the ACC championship on the line. Florida State and Virginia squared at 1. It's been a physical game so far. Let's take a look at the highlights in this one. Seminoles and the Cavs.
Well, it's abnormal for Florida State and Virginia to be as physical as they have been in this game. It's just been so high, fast-paced, that both these teams are just fouling all over the field. It's both sides of the ball. And Doniak has really been involved in a lot of it just because she has just been all over the field and really trying to get herself involved as much as possible.
First goal in the 12th minute.
And this is Doniak on the unfortunate end where she makes the mistake giving it to a Quivisto of Florida State, and Quivisto just looks up, sees the far post is open, and that's just a dangerous ball to give away from Doniak. But then Doniak makes up for it on this corner kick from Iordanu after the corner kick, and then Doniak is just all around trying to get the ball in the back of the net, and she just gets a foot on it. It actually looked like it went in twice for Doniak, and that's a game-tying goal from Virginia.
She was relentless in that first half, picking up her 9th goal this season. Nothing settled here, 1-1. ACC trophy on the line from Cary, North Carolina. The ACC championship on the line, 1 half in the books, and Florida State and Virginia tied at 1 as we get ready to start the second half. We're joined by Seminoles head coach Mark Krikorian. Mark, you got off to a good start. What adjustments do you need to make your second half?
Well, I think we have to be patient with the ball. I think there's an awful lot of opportunities where we could keep the ball a little more, change our passing angles, and make it a little more difficult for Virginia to get a hold of the ball.
Well, Virginia started the game in a 3-back, and you're having a lot of success on the flank play, and then they went to the 4-back. How do you get your flanks a little more involved here in the second half?
Yeah, I think it's if they're going to take away the flanks, then I think we have to play in the middle of the field. So we'll have an extra number in the middle of the midfield. It's about finding that player as opposed to being predictable and just playing wide all the time.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
There's a look at Shayna Williams. We highlighted her in the open. Substituted for in the first half, their leading goal scorer, first team All-ACC, and Natalie Kuika, who had their goal in the first half. And you know Williams is going to make her presence felt at some point.
It's inevitable. She's just that good, and Florida State, they did find the flank so well, like Coach Krikorian was talking about, but they do need to adjust to finding it more up the middle, and that's where Shayna Williams is. If they can find her feet a little bit, connect with those attacking midfielders like Connolly and Kuika and Tillman, then they can spray it out wide and get those outside back forward. That's just a little bit of variety they need to add into the second half.
Williams coming in to play 29 shots on goal, 5 game-winning goals, leader in that category, leader in goals scored with 8. And a good play made there by Virginia. Cross in front. Michaela Hahn is there to get a foot on it. Torres still working on that far side. She goes down. There's the cross, and it goes through the box, and it's going to be out. That'll be a goal kick.
Again, it's already started physical in this second half, and Torres wins the ball, and then Tillman just comes out of nowhere and pushes her down to the ground, but referee said play on.
Cassie Miller. Virginia on the attack here now with Schaffer with some space. Doniak, and she'll play it out. Good energy from Virginia here, Morgan Ruther, and not able to generate anything on that far side.
Well, Florida State has to be a little bit better on the ball in the back. Doniak, Ruther, and Schaffer, right now they're pressing high, and they don't really want Florida State to build up too much out of the back, and that was an easy giveaway from Florida State. They're fortunate that Virginia didn't really get a good look on frame.
Miller, second team All ACC with the goal kick. Saw good pace in that first half. Steve Swanson had to love the response of his team after giving up that goal, one they felt they shouldn't have given away at the outset. Throw in for Virginia.
Well, a response like that just shows you that Virginia is ready for the NCAA tournament. They're ready to really make a case to get back to the College Cup, because that stuff happens when you're in a long tournament like that and you have to respond well, and Virginia did.
That College Cup will be right here in Cary, North Carolina. A lot of good soccer on the field here. ACC Championship and the College Cup. It's a cross and a slow roller, and just moving to her right to grab it is Miller.
Virginia's starting the second half the way that Florida State started the first half. They are just really pushing a lot of numbers forward. They're not allowing for Florida State's defense to really get the ball out of their defensive half. Virginia's just picking up everything. They're moving extremely well up front. Now, can Virginia finish, or can Florida State, get a goal against the run of play, or even get into their attacking half? They haven't been there this whole first half.
You talked about Florida State's advantages. They've had so many corners this year, 118 coming in. They're winning that battle so far. That could be a factor late in this one.
Well, set pieces are critical, and they are big in tournament play. And in a championship game, it could be all the difference. They're good at corner kicks, and they also, Florida State has that long throw from Megan Campbell that is just like a corner kick. So it's something that Virginia, has to be conscious about, not keeping the ball in play and not giving up too many set pieces.
Virginia right now has the Seminoles on their heels. They have 6 of the last 7 shots in this match. Corey Visto was there. She has it. Ahead for Tillman. And a Seminole is down. That's Tillman on that far side. Freshman from Texas, ACC all-freshman pick.
Virginia.
And Tillman just tries to take a little touch. It looks like Iordanu got her cleat, and good call from the ref.
Pickett with the run up. Backs off now with the kick with that left foot. Over Tillman's head. Michaela Hahn keeps it in play. Or that's Schmid actually. Schmid has it. No shots on goal for Florida State since the 15th minute of this match.
what's interesting to me, this happened in the game against North Carolina in the semifinal. As soon as Florida State scored, they just took their foot off the pedal and they relaxed a bit, and they just were complacent to play and just, you know, they weren't really worried about getting that second goal. It wasn't until North Carolina scored that Florida State then went back into the attack and they scored the winning goal later on in the second half. But that's something that Florida State needs to focus on, that they can't have those mental lapses.
Sixth foul against the Seminoles. Here's Torres working against Koivisto in the corner. Help from Tillman over there. And they earn the corner. Fourth of the game for the Cavaliers.
Number 8, Alexis Schaffer.
And here's Schaffer, the hometown kid from Cary, North Carolina, with the corner. Near post. Shot and missing on it, wide left. That was an opportunity for Ruther.
That was an excellent opportunity actually for Ruther, but her run up just wasn't towards the ball. She let the ball kind of play her a little bit, which is why it wasn't a really good opportunity for her.
Tillman controls it. Here is Williams. Electric, working down the sideline. And that's a good job playing that out by McNabb, keeping that from becoming a corner. Boy, every time Williams gets a touch, there's a sense of urgency with everybody.
Got to make sure you have cover because of how good she is on the ball.
And that's grabbed out of the air by Stearns. And they're going to call it a corner. Stepped on the line. It's a corner for Pickett.
I think the Florida State team helped call that corner kick. I heard them all screaming for a corner kick. It was hard to tell from where we are up here, but
Pickett will bend it in there. It's in front. Torres got a hand on it, and the goal from Crowley. Seminoles.
Well, this is from the throw-in to see if it really was a corner. And it definitely was. I mean, even though Stearns' body is out of bounds, so is the ball. And this corner kick from Pickett, Crowley gets the initial header, and it's excellent. Torres saves it off the line for Virginia, and then it just comes right back to Crowley with an easy finish. But really, Crowley started all of that from that initial header.
Yeah, credit Kirsten Crowley, the junior from Panama City Beach, Florida, second team All-ACC. Her third goal, giving the Seminoles a lead early stage of second half. So they've had a one-goal lead at the beginning of each half, and now Connolly on the attack, and here's Williams, and she got a touch, and she's knocked down.
She got chopped down! She got chopped down in the box!
Well, this is what makes Connolly so dangerous when she's running at the back line. Look how much time and space. It's a perfectly placed ball. And it looks like Williams just absolutely missed that ball. Nothing that Iordanu did there. Good, no call from the referee. Because Shayna Williams, that's a great ball from Connolly to miss.
Knowles were thinking about a 3-1 lead. Here they are on the attack again. Kuika. Pickett over to Hahn. Tillman. Williams is in the box. Tillman slips, keeps possession, and then will be a throw in here for Virginia. You can see the bandage stitches in the semifinal.
Yeah, she got hit pretty hard by Maya Worth of North Carolina. Late challenge, and there was a lot of blood on the field when that challenge hit head-to-head.
The Seminoles really the aggressors now. They're on the attack once more. Here's Natalie Kuika. Left foot, and she earns the corner as Cox was there defensively.
Well, it's just been much better from Florida State these last just couple of minutes. It's the variety in the attack is a lot better. Connolly running at the back line and then slipping it. Then Florida State plays it wide to the right, right to the left, and it's just really put Virginia on their heels.
Megan Connolly, the freshman from Cork, Ireland. Virginia gets it out of harm's way. Looking for a counter now. Schaffer battling Tillman over there. Florida State with the throw-in. You've been in these matchups in North Carolina. You take on a team that is very talented, almost you could say on paper as good as you are, but you've got their number. Florida State has had Virginia's number, even though they lost in the regular season this year. In the championship matches, they've had their number. There's a shot by Schmid, wide left. Had a good look at it.
Well, they really have. You're right. On paper, these teams are so even. The coaches are two of the best in the country, if not the world. And Florida State just seems to get a little bit of an edge when they play Virginia. And they typically have come away with the win of recently.
College basketball back on ESPNU Friday night. Coach K and Duke host Siena at Cameron Indoor, 7 Eastern. Then at 9, Ben Simmons, his first game that counts for LSU as McNeese State makes the move to Baton Rouge to take on the Tigers. Both games also on Watch ESPN. Here's Williams now. We're trying to work some magic for the Seminoles and turned away.
But look how much more successful Florida State is when Williams touches the ball. She did not touch the ball very much in the first half. She didn't touch the ball very much in the first game against Virginia. But when she touches it, it is just all the defenders collapse, and it allows other people to get open.
Just the attention she's drawing. There's a header in front. Pickett punches it in there. And offside on Virginia.
Offside with Virginia.
A 2-1 game in Florida State. Maybe they have sensed, maybe that was the talk at halftime, find that extra level to find a knockout punch. They're looking for one right here. The third goal would really put them in a great spot. Here is Tillman. Kuika. Williams got a touch on it. Pick it over for Kuika. Cox, but she plays it over to Pickett. Here's Williams again. Triple teamed. And cleared out of there by Sonnet. They give it away though. Kuika against Cox, makes a nice move. Kuika deflected in front, and Cox gets it out of the way.
It's been all Florida State these last few minutes. Virginia can't get the ball out of their defensive half this time.
And there's offside again.
I mean, Florida State they are just seeing the game so well. They're combining extremely well, so many different players. And Koi Visto, so good on this play right here. But if she could just use her left foot a little bit, she probably would have gotten a much better cross. for Florida State. There was a lot of Florida State players running in there. It's difficult to get a good cross with the outside of your right foot in that situation.
Tillman for Megan Conley. Nice touch pass there. Conley in the box, has some space. Conley, the cross. Boy, they are really putting the pressure on Virginia now. Ratcliffe, 2 defenders there, plays it back for Cox.
Now Virginia, they just need to settle down a little bit. Put your foot on the ball. Just have a little more patience. Now that you have the ball in possession, keep it. Give your defense a little bit of a break, and don't do exactly what just happened there and turn the ball over.
Glad you're with us. Trey Bender, Cat Whitehill, championship, ACC. The trophy on the line for 2 of the top teams in America, Florida State and Virginia. The Seminoles, the defending national champs. Virginia, the consensus #1, but the Seminoles have the momentum right now. And that was Williams making a run at it again.
Hey, ref! Check your voicemail! I think you missed a couple calls!
Here comes Brittany Ratcliffe, the senior from New Jersey, playing it ahead for Schaffer. Campbell's there.
Substitutions for Virginia entering.
3 Virginia substitutions now.
Number 6, Courtney Peterson replacing number 7, Kylie Torres.
Courtney Peterson.
Number 12, Veronica Latsko replacing number 18,
Veronica
Morgan Rupert.
Latsko
Number
and
19, Ayan Adu replacing number 8, Alexis Shepard.
Ayan Adu come on the field. Maybe fresh legs give them a boost here.
Yeah, definitely fresh legs. Sub out a couple of other players as well so they can have fresh legs coming back in the second half. But Peterson, who started the game at outside back, now is going to go into that outside mid position. And she's very good at finding crosses, getting 1v1 situations on the flank, so they need to find her a little bit more. And they still need to keep finding Ratcliffe in your screen, number 11. She's just so dynamic on this right side, and she needs to get the ball a little bit more, and her and Doniak and Ruther need to combine a little bit more up top.
6th foul there against Virginia. The Cavs trying to generate some possession here, but it's been Florida State on the attack. Kuika for Connolly. Koivisto plays it ahead for Schmid. Schmid has possession, trying to set it up. They are sharp right now. Pickett. The cross. Oh, and there was some trouble, and it's opportunity in front for Tillman, and it's cleared away. Stearns had some problems with that one.
Well, she really did. She had trouble spotting this ball because this cross in from Pickett probably should have just been caught right out of the air from Stearns, but it goes a little bit further than she expected, so she decided to tip it over and into a dangerous situation for her defense. But they were able to clear it and help out Stearns.
Throwing for Florida State. Kuika is in there. Tillman as well, trying to take a swipe at it. Punched up high and over the net that time. After our game today, we've got the SEC Women's Soccer Championship for you at 2 Eastern. The top-seeded and 5th-ranked Florida Gators take on 2-time defending champ Texas A&M. Aggies haven't given up a goal in the SEC tournament since the 2013 championship game. Today at 2 on ESPNU, streaming live on Watch ESPN. That'll be a good one. Well, Virginia spent a lot of time on the defensive end here. Now they have Ratcliffe. Ruther wide. Tillman gets back. Doniak's been quiet.
Yeah, she really was all over the field in the first half, and even in the first 5 minutes of the second half. but she's just kind of gotten stuck in between the defenders of FSU, and she needs to check back just a little bit more.
Here's Megan Cox now. Oh, good pass, and there's the shot at the goal, and just as we say it, Doniak delivers with the left foot, and we're tied.
What a strike from Doniak. Such a tough angle to get any kind of real good look. But it was such a quick turn, a little touch from Latsko, and Doniak just sets up her left foot and near post beats Cassie Miller with that rifle of a shot. When she finally found that little bit of space, she pulled away from the center backs, and that's what gave her that little bit of space to take that shot.
And she's the all-time scoring leader in Virginia history after that goal, 67th minute, even at 2. You just can't sleep on Doniak, you can't sleep on Williams. They can come up on you and do amazing things in a hurry.
When that goal came against the run of play for Virginia, Florida State just had another mental lapse in the back.
Florida State was threatening taking a 2-goal lead, and that has evaporated quickly here. Played ahead, and Stearns got a piece of that one. Look at Williams battling in there. She's triple teamed, and Virginia now with the counter. Ratcliffe, but getting back is Koivisto. And all Miller can do is clear that out. A little momentum shift here.
It's been in waves when it comes to momentum. I mean, Florida State had it all for most of this second half, and then Virginia gets this goal to tie it. These teams are just firing on all cylinders.
And their far post over the top, the shot from Latsko. Doniak has 7 of Virginia's 11 shots, including this goal.
I mean, this is a great angle right here. You can see Doniak takes a perfect touch. Cassie Miller was right there and just misses it. And what a little space that ball fit in. And as a striker, you take those shots. You put the goalkeeper, forcing them to make saves, because then they could give up a rebound.
Williams was trying to get to that one. Nice play by Sonnet. Florida State with the substitution. Thorvaldsdottir will come in for Williams.
Substitution for Florida State interim is number 10, Berkeley Thorvaldsdottir, replacing number 19, Shayna Williams.
You mentioned they're a different team without number 19 out there.
She won't be out very long. She'll come back in pretty quickly. But now Thorvaldsdottir, they need to play her feet more. She needs to hold it well for this team so she can get Tillman and Koivisto involved a little bit more. Find Connolly running at the back line. That's what she can really bring for Florida State.
Campbell's throw in. She'll do it again. In traffic, Kuika. Virginia had 4 white shirts in front of her. Now this is what you expect in a championship game, huh?
Absolutely not from these teams. Normally it's 1-0. It doesn't matter if it's regular season or championship, but 2-2, this game has just been back and forth. It's been so much fun to watch. These teams are playing at the top of their game right now, and it's a good time to be peaking. ACC championship game going into the NCAA tournament.
Steve Swanson has run the gamut, I'm sure, with his emotions. You're down 1-0, you're down 2-1, you battle back from those deficits. They have not had a good start to either half, but they've done a good job from that point on in each half.
We had a good first 5 minutes in this second half, and then Florida State just completely dominated for most of it. The goal still is against the run of play. Virginia still hasn't really gained a whole lot of possession in this second half at all.
Virginia again forced Miller, though, to just deposit it in the seats over there. Putting some pressure on the goalkeeper. Koivisto battling with Peterson over there. And a throw in for the Seminoles. How long do you keep Williams off the field?
I would think she's going to come on in about 5 minutes. She came on. Typically, Thorvald's daughter plays a lot in the first half, not as much in the second, especially if they need a goal. Williams was just playing really well in the second half. I think they need her pretty quickly, depending on if Florida State scores.
Virginia trying to find some space here. They have Cox over for Ratcliffe. Back to Cox. Ratcliffe on the attack with a cross, far post, nobody there. And a Seminole goes down, as closest to the ball over there was Peterson. Defended by Koivisto.
Foul, Virginia.
With a foul on the Cavs here. Their 7th of the game. Two of the top teams in America in the nation's best conference squaring off here for the ACC trophy. Doniak goes down.
This referee's making the right calls, but he needs to start bringing out a card. The last 2 fouls have been pretty intense. Koivisto getting fouled, and now Koivisto fouling. It's just, you don't want to see any kind of injury in this championship game.
Look at what Doniak has done. She's been active. Had a bad pass early that allowed a goal, but has responded with an unbelievable effort. There's a header by Cox. Still in the air. Doniak can't make anything happen with that one. Virginia on the attack, but there's a play ahead, and that one made it interesting for Cassie Miller. She had to go to the turf to get it. We have a great women's volleyball matchup next Thursday night on ESPNU. Stanford and Washington, 2 of the Pac-12's best, but also 2 of the nation's best. Cardinal Huskies, 11 Eastern, also streaming live on Watch ESPN. And here's the 8th foul on Florida State. Getting a little physical here.
I mean, it's been the theme this whole game. It's a bit of a surprise to me. I know both of these teams want to win, but because of their style of play, you just don't see a lot of fouls because the ball is moving so quickly. But it's just been a different game, which is why we have a bit of a different score line here, 2-2. But it's been still like a fun game to watch because these two teams are just playing so well.
Offside. It's the 3rd on Virginia.
Offside, Virginia.
It's been kind of unpredictable, though. We've seen such a roller coaster of momentum swings.
Yeah, For Florida State's on the attack, then Virginia's on attack, it's a bunch of waves, and they last for long periods of time. The defense just can't seem to get the ball out of their defensive half, and it's dangerous opportunity after dangerous opportunity, and both teams are fortunate at this point to only give up 2 goals just because of the looks that each team have had in the attacking third.
Cox plays it ahead for Doniak. Right with her is Campbell. That's a great matchup there, and Campbell wins that time. Substitution for Virginia as Schaffer will come into the game.
Replacing number 19, Ian Adu.
Adu will check off. Kuika has some space. Trying to play it ahead for Thorvaldsdottir, and she's got it against Sonnet now in the corner.
Watch out.
14-minute mark, 2-2.
When you're ready, Elin.
And a lot of people have their eyes on Williams as to when she will come back into the game for Florida State.
Well, so far, Thorvaldsdottir's done a nice job. She's deserving these minutes.
Nice touch pass over to Schmid, who will play it back. Some space now for Pickett. Pickett enters it. One hopper, an easy play for Stearns.
You just have to think that Williams has to come in soon just because of that extra dimension she gives over the top. Florida State seems to be limited now in their attack, and they're not really finding the right passes, and they're not moving as much just because Virginia is able to step up just a little bit more and close that space because they're not concerned with the speed from Williams.
There's a through ball. Opportunity. Latsko. Doniak chips it, but nobody there, and that was Koivisto stepping in front. Doniak wins it back for Virginia. Schmid. Brandon, Latsko. Latsko. Sonnet with the cross. Virginia, good job on possession here.
Good job with possession, but they're not playing the right foot, so they're reaching for the ball and it's allowing the Florida State defenders to step in and just poke it away, so they just don't have that rhythm of in combination play at the top of the box. It's something they need to.
There's a German Schmid ahead for Thorvaldsdottir. She had a look at it.
For both teams, they really need to look for a little bit more combination play, especially down the middle. The flank, that's a little bit easier to read where the defender's going, but play up top, play back through, play a three-person combination so you get more players involved and it's less predictable for the defense.
Latsko off of Campbell. It'll be a throw-in for Virginia. And a substitution. Tillman checks off the field.
Number 7, Kylie Torres, replacing number 6, Courtney Peterson. Substitution for
Torres
State,
comes in
number 5, Eileen Jensen,
for Virginia, and
number
Florida
12,
State
Casey
will
Tillman.
bring Eileen Jensen on. Seminoles looked very good after the first 5 minutes of the second half, taking the 2-1 lead. They were threatening getting the third goal, but then Virginia tied it Doniak in the 67th minute. Hahn plays it to Kuika. Has Pickett to her left. Space for Kuika. Chips it ahead. In traffic. Thorvaldstadter tried to go with the kick there in the air, and not a bad effort.
Not a bad effort, but it was just a little far away, and she had some players running on the outside. Maybe take a touchdown. Your back is already to the goal. Instead of an acrobatic type of goal-scoring opportunity, try to just settle it a little bit more. Have a little more patience in front of your goal.
Pickett try to get it in front of the sprinting Kuika. Here's Cox for Virginia. And here is Shayna Williams coming in now for Florida State. We knew it was just a matter of time, and they've made the move, and she's in for Thorvaldstadter. And Sutton in for Brandon on the Virginia side. No shots today. She's made her presence felt despite not getting a shot. Let's see what she can do here.
Well, she missed a wide open opportunity earlier in this half where Connolly played her in. But you're right, even without the shots, she makes the defense play differently. They have to drop quicker, they have to drop a little more, which gives the midfielders from Florida State a little more space to work with.
Nice touch pass on the sideline for Ratcliffe, making a run against Pickett, crosses it. An easy play for Miller. Megan Connolly. This could be a preview of the NCAA College Cup. These teams met in the Cup last year, won by Florida State, 1-0. But this could be Virginia's season. The consensus #1. They have been unbelievable. Some contact over there. Torres colliding. With Jensen.
Virginia.
And it's interesting, Florida State really has had most of this second half. Virginia's had a little bit here and there, but Virginia, they are known for their corner kicks. We talked about this earlier, and they've had one in this half for this game when they average over 8. So Florida State has done a really good job of keeping the ball in play and just not allowing for Virginia to get any good looks. I mean, Virginia scored on one of their corner kicks, so they need some more set pieces in these last 6 minutes.
Jensen over there. There's Corvisto over for Connolly. Play it back for Jensen in the box with some space. The cross. And a good play made by Iordano. So the Noles, they start generating a little momentum, and you can see it building.
Yeah, they just keep attacking, and they have so many options. It's just Virginia just kind of holding on right now defensively.
A lot of traffic there in front. And a goal kick. That was Crowley, who has already made her presence felt with the goal in the 55th minute. Will it be another championship for Mark Krikorian? Chip ahead, Doniak. Campbell back. But Campbell's really been good. I guess she has been all year long.
She has been. That battle between Doniak and Campbell has just been so fun to watch. Campbell does such a good job at cutting down the angles and making it predictable for Cassie Miller behind her in goal. And Doniak's just been having trouble getting in behind, getting around Campbell, because Campbell positions herself so well defensively.
Megan Cox, the junior from Springfield, Virginia, with the throw-in. Space on the near side for Sonnet. Chips it ahead, top of the box. Torres makes a run and a shot wide. Florida State now has not had a shot in the last 20 minutes. Virginia just had one there.
But it seems like Florida State's been more dangerous, even if they haven't had shots. They've been getting good crosses in. They've been stealing the ball away from the back line of Virginia.
Doniak on the run. Left foot cross. Shot by Schaffer, not there. Let's go up high with that one.
Big missed opportunity there for Virginia. Doniak racing down towards the end line, and the ball skips through a lot of players. Schaffer gets a foot on it, but again, Campbell comes up big, and here, Latsko tries to find a good shooting angle, but if she had just played the ball back to Ratcliffe, you see her in the bottom of your screen, Ratcliffe could have taken a touch and either a shot or gotten a better cross off. Instead, Florida State wins the goal kick.
Momentum for the Cavaliers now. Here's Cox playing it ahead. Guess who? Campbell is there. Winding down here, second half. Will there be some magic here in regulation? McNabb will play it back for Stearns. Schmid. Approaching 2 minutes to go. ACC championship on the line. If you're Florida State, you want to see Williams at least touch it here once, right?
Yeah, since she's been in the game, she hasn't really been effective at all.
Played ahead, trying to run it down. And good defense there from Virginia. Right with her, Kristen McNabb. McNabb, a junior, #1 on the team in minutes played.
And Coach Swanson said she's been the unsung hero for this team this year. She does all the hard work, all the dirty work for them in the back. And when Emily Sonnet left for the national team, she was still back there helping to lead this team. She's a leader, not just by communicating, but by action. She just works hard every single game.
A minute to go in regulation here. Florida State maybe with one final push here. They'll play it wide for Pickett. Kuika. Virginia throw in. Connolly gets a touch. Plays it ahead. Williams onside. 25 seconds to go. Florida State looking for an opportunity here in the waning seconds. Good job by Iordano. 10 seconds to go. And the final seconds tick off here in regulation. 2-2. Florida State and Virginia. We have finished regulation. Overtime coming up here in the ACC Championship. Mark Krikorian and Steve Swanson locked up in a good one. A trophy on the one at halftime. Florida State taking the lead, but the answer from Virginia as we take a look at the highlights.
Well, it was an excellent corner kick from Carson Pickett, and Kirsten Crowley has a nice look on goal, but then the ball bounces right back to her. Virginia is unable to clear the ball, and Crowley gets on the end of that and gets her first goal of the game. And on the other side for Virginia, against the run of play, here Megan Cox is trying to find anybody to open up, and Doniak just gets a little sniff, just a little bit of space, and threads the needle in between Miller and the post, tying this game for Virginia.
Doniak has been a big part of the offense as we look at the numbers so far.
Well, it's interesting that there's 14 shots from Virginia. It seems like Florida State, though, has had more of the run of play in the attacking third, but it's all about execution. Who scores, who gets in and better looks on the goal, and that to me has been a key stat. And the corner kicks for Virginia, only 4.
Doniak has 8 of Virginia's 14 shots. She'll be a marked player, and obviously Williams on the other side for Florida State. And, you know, we highlighted those players in the open, and there's no reason to think they're not going to be involved in the mix here in crunch time.
Well, 2 goals from Doniak today, and then 2 goals from Williams against North Carolina in the semifinals. So they are game changers for both of these teams. Florida State just was unable to get Williams involved when she came back in the second half. If they can find her more, then she'll get into better opportunities for them. Here are the overtime rules. NCAA postseason, 2 10-minute periods. Goal wins it, and if still tied, we go to penalty kicks. No one wants to see the PKs in a championship setting. Yeah, no, it's tough. It's drama. It's great drama. Yeah, it's great drama. But you want that goal in one of these overtime periods, especially with how well this game has played out. You just hate it when, you know, penalty kicks are the deciding factor. So one of these teams will be crowned ACC champions. Both are headed to the NCAA, 2 of the top teams in America. And it could be a preview of the College Cup. These teams met there last year. Do you get a sense there's an advantage with one team over the other through what we've seen through the first 2 halves? It's been pretty even. Yeah, just different flows and momentum. Just different flows, waves of attack. Both these teams are they're so good all over the field, and the depth that they have when they bring in players, they don't skip a beat. So I just think, you know, they're really, you know, Doniak up front for Virginia, you have Williams up front for Florida State, and then in the back you have Megan Campbell and Crowley in the back for Florida State, and then Sana and McNabb in the center back. Those center backs, you know, it's just so even, and you can just player for player, it's just even matchups. Well, we thought it would be a close match heading in. We've seen the history of the 1-0 game. This is 2-2. And a lot at stake here. You know, the pride of winning the ACC championship, and we talked about that 1-0 regular season win by Virginia. That kind of adds to the drama, comparing it to what happened in the postseason. Yeah, I mean, it was so controversial, the win that Virginia had earlier this season, and I think there's a bit of revenge on both people's minds with ACC championship last year with Virginia losing, and they want to win this time, and Florida State wants to win this game after what happened in the regular season. So overtime. The SEC championship is on ESPN News. We're in overtime here. The ACC championship between the consensus #1 Virginia and the defending national champions Florida State. It has been a dandy. Schaffer. Do you play the game any differently in OT and postseason? No, I think some teams do different substitution patterns. Like, for instance, Ruther isn't starting in this first overtime period. You know, maybe she comes on a little bit later in this overtime period so she can play the whole second overtime. I'm not sure about where Coach Swanson's thinking there, but that's the only real difference. She's played the exact same way that you played in the first 2 halves.
Florida State does not have a shot since the 65th minute. Here's Ruther with the left foot cross, and getting ahead on that was Schaffer. Miller there. Doniak was in the middle of things there. Just getting a piece of it. Here's Williams. Played back for Stearns. Williams hard charging. Shayna Williams, a senior, trying to close out her ACC career with on a high note. Touch pass ahead for Ratcliffe. Campbell. Here's Latsko for Virginia against Campbell. She rock solid over there, plays it out.
She really is. She's so good at stepping and reading the player's body language and when they're going to make that touch, and then she just easily takes the ball away from any attacking player. It's fun to watch her. It's from one defender to another.
I know you appreciate good defensive play.
I really do. She's put on a clinic defensively for today against Virginia, against one of the best attacking players in the country. Even though Doniak has scored twice, hasn't really been against when Campbell's in the area.
Cox with the throw in. It's Ratcliffe, got a piece of that, the deflection. Schaffer over for Peterson, the shot, and it's high. Courtney Peterson, the freshman.
Number 6, Courtney Peterson.
Well, these long throw-ins, they're so dangerous, especially when you get them that far in, and Ratcliffe gets a good look, and Florida State's unable to get the ball out of their 18-yard box. Peterson's wide open and looks, it's a good shot, just gets it over, leans back just a little too much at the very end of that shot.
Offside.
Offside, Florida State.
4th of the game on the Seminoles. And Coach Swanson hoping he can get some magic from Williams. Kuika has a goal.
Side on, here.
Virginia has outshot Florida State 17-10 in this one. Virginia already has the ACC regular season championship, but looking for the tournament title here. Bragging rights, the consensus #1 national ranking, #1 seed in the NCAA. All those things are out there.
Well, it's always good to go into the NCAA tournament with a win and instead of a loss. You know, you want that, you know, confidence going in, even though, yes, it is ACC championship and these are 2 of the best teams in the country. You know, you just want that little added confidence, just takes you just, you know, in a little bit further in every game.
Doniak settles it. Turns it upfield. Peterson against Koivisto, crosses. Campbell there again. There are 5 Campbells out there, I think, today playing defense for the Seminoles. She's everywhere.
She's on the right side, she's on the left side, just running everywhere and getting into the attack with her throw-ins.
Virginia's taken the last 7 shots. There's a cross. Williams tries to go up high to get it. Sonnet right with her. Ratcliffe is down as the Noles counter here. Michaela Hahn, senior from Titusville, Florida. Schmid in the middle. Connolly. Williams to her right. Here's Tillman. Williams has it in the box. Shot with the left foot, deflected out of there. And finally cleared.
Florida State shot by number 19, Shayna Williams.
Tillman cannot get to that one. First team All-ACC, Shayna Williams from Hampton, Georgia. Former Vanderbilt Commodore. She was all conference with Vandy and all everything with Florida State.
Well, these are the critical moments, these set pieces. We talked about how they could be the difference. They've been the difference for both teams. Both teams have scored on a set piece. Will it be this way in overtime?
Torres is in for Ratcliffe for Virginia now. Senior forward is out there. Campbell, the throw in for Florida State. And headed out of there by Sonnet, and a corner coming up for the Seminoles. This is their 7th, and doing the honors, Carson Pickett. Headed by Williams, and she got her head on it, but down to the turf and away from the goal.
Yeah, but they have her set up right in front of the goalkeeper, Stern, so that she can distract Stearns, not allow her to get anything clean on it. She does get the header, but it's so hard to flick it on. That's why she puts it right into the ground, and Virginia gets the goal kick.
Approaching a minute to go, this first overtime period. Next goal wins the ACC championship. Tina Iordano, the throw-in. Doniak.
1 minute remaining.
Head for Latsko. Campbell will play it back. Second overtime period looming here. Virginia. Here's Tillman, 40 seconds to work with. Schmid playing it wide on the run. It's Kuika. Can't get there as Schaffer clears it out. Time dwindling here in the first overtime. Big throw in for Campbell.
8, 7, 6, 5.
Sonnet there.
3, 2.
And we are headed to a second overtime period here in Cary, North Carolina.
At the end of the first overtime, Virginia Cavaliers 2.
Well, it seemed like Virginia dominated the first 5 minutes of that, and then it came to Florida State, and again, it's all about waves. And now that you're seeing that no one's really executing, they're getting, the defenses have really stepped up for both sides. They're not allowing for anyone to get any good look onto the goal. And it's just no surprise that it's 2-2, considering how evenly matched these two teams are.
Last year's ACC championship, a 1-0 affair. Let's flash back. Florida State, Virginia.
Well, Shayna Williams was involved on this one to Carson Pickett. She does a nice job of finding that far post, and Virginia just doesn't mark in the box. It turned out to be the game winner for Florida State.
And they took that victory into the NCAAs and they ended up winning the College Cup by the same score, 1-0 over Virginia. Here, a 2-2 game. What adjustments are you making as you enter the second overtime period if you're the coaches here?
Not much. Just keep playing the same way. The only real difference is substitution patterns and who's going to be playing and what. Will Shayna Williams still remain in the game, or does Thorville's daughter come in? You know, those are the type of questions that he'll ask himself, but I just think you keep it the way that it is. The systems for both teams are working, and both teams are playing extremely well.
It was 1-1 at halftime. A goal in the 12th minute by Kuika for Florida State. Doniak answered in the 32nd minute to square it at 1. Then Crowley gave Florida State the lead in the 55th minute. But Doniak again with the answer in the 67th minute. And that's where we stand 2-2. Shayna Williams, the College Cup most outstanding player last year, had 6 goals in the NCAA tournament. And for those of you tuning in to check out the SEC Championship, that is now airing on ESPN News. The Gators and the Aggies. And if it has a sliver of the drama we've had here, it's going to be a good one as well. And here's an opportunity. It's Williams. Crosses for Tillman. Did not look at the goal, opted to pass it there, and Virginia the other way. Second overtime period underway.
Now at this point, it might just come down to an individual effort. Who wants it more than the defenders of the other team, just because of how well the defenses have played?
Megan Connolly looking for some teammates. She takes it to the corner. Koivisto. Schmid, and was looking for Pickett, and Doniak was there. Torres and Pickett collide. Throw in Virginia. And Latsko and Campbell go down there. It'll be Florida State possession.
Foul, Virginia.
Foul on Virginia. Latsko, that's the 10th of the game on the Cavs. More physical than you thought this matchup? We talked about it earlier.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been a very fast-paced, physical game. Typically, these teams just like to swing it around, build up out of the back. Both styles have been pretty just because of how good these teams are. Whether it is fast-paced or methodical, it's just a little bit different for Virginia and Florida State, but still a great game.
Tillman for Connolly. Connolly to the sideline for Hahn. Isabella Schmid. Good ball for Hahn. Pickett chips it in there. Schmid. Tillman. Crowley will play it over for Campbell. Knowles with winning the possession battle here. Oh, and that one was smart. Chilly conditions here as Iordano Took that one in the forehead.
Well, it's a good header here from Iordanu, but I think Koivisto gets a little part of her. I think came as a shock to her because she was watching the ball the whole time.
Morgan Stearns, junior from San Antonio, with the kick. Kuika. Cox is back. Crosses it, but turned away by Brandon. Crowley gets back. Doniak trying to run that one down. Peterson making a move against Koivisto. Crosses it, Campbell punches it out.
Well, Virginia on that play from Peterson, they need to get more numbers into the box. Peterson does a good job of getting in line and finding a cross, but only Latsko is really in a dangerous position. Other Virginia players were just kind of waiting to see where the ball was instead of making the run early and trying to get on the end of it and anticipating where it might land.
Ratcliffe is in for Peterson, and Brianna Westrup, a freshman from Corona Del Mar, California, comes in.
Brianna Westrup replacing number 2, Betsy Brandon.
Whoever's on the field, you can't sub. I know.
Also, Adu is on. Virginia threatening here, outside the box. Torres.
None of these subs that came in for Virginia have anything for any indication for penalty kicks. It's all about tactical, because you can actually take a penalty kick even if you haven't played in the game. So these are all tactical subs from Steve Swanson of Virginia. I think Westrup is coming in for the first time today, a lot for her heading presence, and she can just win a lot of balls on defensive and attacking set pieces.
There will be a corner, the 5th of the game for Virginia. Kai Torres, the senior. In the second overtime for Virginia. Near post. Pickett was there. Ratcliffe missed on that one. They keep possession. Torres. Let's go. So the 6th corner coming up here. As we wind under 4 minutes to go in the second overtime.
Corner kick, Virginia, number 7, Kylie Torres.
You can see Torres is trying to give the corner kick away to someone because their last one just fell a little short. Typically it's Schaffer that's been taking them, but Schaffer's not in the game right now.
Torres, and that one misses high and away. On a collision there, and that was Westrup with the foul.
Get behind and get organized. Wait, come on. 3 minutes. Let's go. 3.
Florida State now nearing 2.5 minutes to go, second overtime. They give away possession. Ratcliffe.
So she has no help over there. There's not any Virginia player going over and helping to combine around players. They're just completely depending on Doniak to beat them 1v1 with her speed. There just needs to be a little more combination play, 1-2s. Latsko's making a run far post, and there's no way that Doniak can get even a cross off on that situation.
Frustrated over there. It'll be a Florida State throw in. 2 minutes to go, second overtime. Looking for some magic here in the overtime period. Mark Krikorian. Isabella Schmid can't maintain it. Torres. Pickett is there.
I have a question. The people who are on the field are the ones who have to take the penalty kick. No. No? Yeah, I don't think so.
You got this. You're good. You got this. Let's go.
No shots in this second overtime period. Campbell.
1 minute remaining.
And we're under a minute to go now. Williams working against Cox. It will be a goal kick.
I just think fatigue is now basically set in for both these teams. They're both trying more of a counter-attacking style rather than letting the ball move. They're just sending it forward, not really playing as well as they did in the regulation period. That's why you haven't really seen many goal-scoring opportunities at all.
Final 20 seconds. Doniak gets it ahead for Latsko. And Campbell is there again. She has been throughout this match. Final 10 seconds.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
Cox to throw in.
3, 2, 1.
And there's a shot that's a slow roll from Torres, and we're headed to PKs.
Virginia Cavaliers 2.
2-2 for the ACC championship. Penalty kicks upcoming. Who will bring home the ACC hardware? And we'll revisit, first of all, what's happened so far. It was 1-1 at halftime. In the 12th minute, FSU gets on the board.
Cuevisto intercepts an errant pass from Doniak, looks up, beautifully far post, ball from Cuevisto, and Iordanu puts into Betsy Brandon off of a corner kick, and Doniak is all over it, trying to force the ball to the back of the net, and she finally does.
55th minute, tied at 1.
Yeah, another corner kick, but this time for Florida State. Virginia can't get it out of their box, and Crowley's able to finish on that one, and Cox here for Virginia bringing it down the field, finds Latsko in a little touch, and a perfectly placed near post finish from Doniak. She just had a little sliver of time. She takes a shot, ties it up for Virginia.
That was in the 67th minute. Now we're headed to penalty kicks. Now the question is, who has the advantage? Stearns, #1 in the ACC, goals against average on the Virginia side, but Miller is a second-team All-ACC goalkeeper.
Yeah, it's hard to say who has the advantage when it comes to goalkeepers. Stearns, she's been dealing with some injuries from the spring, and she's finally back to feeling 100%. So maybe Miller has a little advantage just because Stearns is still in the process of coming back, but I just don't see much from there. I think with both these teams, they've been practicing on these penalty kicks for weeks now, knowing that you're getting into championship season, that's something that you have to do every day after practice, especially if you think that you're a good penalty kick taker. And even saw Florida State, they were raising their hands, volunteering who wants to take it. And if you're volunteering, that means you have the confidence to step up and take the kick.
Well, you kind of brought forth my next question. You've been in this scenario many times as a player. The mindset you need to have, you need to be confident and not hesitate when you're taking a kick.
Oh yeah, I mean it's when I was a penalty kick taker for North Carolina, and I just practiced it every day. And you try and put yourself into tough situations in practice. It's hard to emulate in practice, but you make a bet or something with a teammate, about push-ups. You have to do 15 push-ups every time you miss or something. You do something crazy like that, but you just have to know that you have a first shot and you practice a second shot. and you don't doubt what you're going to do as soon as you step up there.
You've seen at the World Cup where a kicker will get into the mind of the goalkeeper with something mentally, whatever they're doing, verbally. That can work from time to time.
It can. I remember in the '99 World Cup, Bryce Scurry, you could just see her eyes staring at the Chinese penalty kick taker, and it was almost like the kicker who missed for China looked down because she was afraid of the look from Brianna Scurry. So it's an interesting game up there. It's not a long kick, but it's scary.
Glad you're with us. We're at the ACC Championship. We are in penalty kicks through 2 overtime periods. Nothing settled. A 2-2 regulation tie. And for the ACC title, Virginia and Florida State, a rematch of last year's ACC title won by Florida State. They're the defending national champions. Virginia, the ACC regular season champions this year, and the consensus #1. Both these teams are going to be a big factor in the NCAAs and could be playing for the College Cup. And can't have much more drama than what we've had today.
No, it's just been an even match the whole time. Florida State dominated a little bit more in the second half, but it's just been good soccer from both of these teams, and it's always fun to watch Florida State versus Virginia.
We mentioned before that the College Cup will be here in Cary. These teams could be meeting on this same field for even bigger stakes. We'll see.
So this could be good practice for both these teams if that game ends in penalty kicks.
So Virginia 16-1-1. Florida State 14-2-3. You talked about the advantage throughout the course of the year Virginia's had on corner kicks. That penalty kicks, it's a different animal. It's hard to gauge how this one plays out.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's all about confidence, stepping up, making that decision as you're walking up there and not straying from it. As soon as you get in your own head, that's when you start to make mistakes.
So Virginia will have the first opportunity. It'll be Kristen McNabb against Cassie Miller.
For Virginia, #5, Kristen McNabb.
Junior from Montville, New Jersey. Against the sophomore from Cave Creek, Arizona. Virginia's first chance. And the goal for McNabb. She gets it done.
Well, she just knew exactly where she was going, and Miller decides to guess. Had she stayed in her position, that would have been an easy save for her because it was basically down the middle. I know that a lot of goalkeepers like to guess and hope for the best, but if you can read their body language a little bit, just hold your ground and wait for that shot.
Now Carson Pickett, and she delivers against Morgan Stearns for FSU, 1-1.
Basically the same spot that McNabb hit on the last penalty kick, and Stearns, she guesses as well. Just hold your position just a little bit more, keep your feet moving, but just try and read the player a little bit better from both these goalkeepers.
Kylie Torres, the senior, against Miller. Virginia, 2-1.
This one would have been difficult for any goalkeeper to save. She shows it where she's going by opening her body, but it's so well placed and low and driven, it'd be difficult to save.
Now a freshman, Megan Connolly from Cork, Ireland, against Stearns, trying to even it at 2. Connolly delivers, 2-2.
So far, every single player that's stepped up has been confident as to where they're going. They've struck them well. And the goalkeepers are just standing there with no way of saving these shots quite yet.
The leading goal scorer, Alexis Schaffer, the junior from hometown Cary, North Carolina, against Miller. Virginia 3-2.
And that's a difficult one because Cassie Miller just faced the same penalty kick shooter in their regular season matchup. She actually dives the way that Schaffer went in that game, but because you always have a second shot that you're also confident with, that's where Schaffer went on that PK.
Now Michaela Hahn for the Seminoles, the senior. Goes high with that one and delivers. It's 3-3.
This is more my type of shot, just right down the middle, just full speed, just powerful shot there from Hahn. Even though Stearns dove the right way, it's difficult to try and get a hand on that one.
Senior Emily Sonnet, the ACC Defensive Player of the Year against Miller. Stunner step and then puts it in there. 4-3, Virginia.
This is that confidence from these penalty kick takers. She's actually watching to see which way Cassie Miller dives and just places it in the other direction.
Megan Campbell has been tremendous as a defender all match long. The senior. 4-4.
With the way that all of these penalty kicks have been taken, we might be going 11 players deep. They have just been so well placed, so well struck. The goalkeepers just don't really have much of a chance.
Mackenzie Doniak, what a career she's had. The ACC Offensive Player of the Year now for Virginia. No problem for Doniak. 5-4 Virginia.
Here it is again. Goalkeepers are guessing, and Cassie Miller just gave it away almost before Doniak had started her run. It's just too early for Miller to be diving.
Kirsten Crowley, the junior, second team all ACC. In there. 5-5.
Good timing.
I mean, this penalty kick was not well struck at all. It was down the middle, but because Stearns decided to go in a direction, she isn't able to even come close to that save. I just want to see them hold their line just a little bit longer.
Betsy Brandon, the freshman. And it has all been about the kicks from both sides. The goalkeepers haven't had an answer. 6-5.
Yeah, well, this one is just so well struck. Tough ball to save. Tough ball to read coming off of Brandon's foot.
Here's Shayna Williams. 6-6. Who's going to get the first save here?
Good question. The goalkeepers haven't really come close. This time Stearns guesses the right way or gets close to it. But just because it's so well struck from Williams and both teams, it's no goalkeepers really had any opportunity to come up with a save.
6-6 PK's ACC championship on the line. Megan Cox stopped by Miller. They get the save. Cassie Miller turns away Cox.
Well, Cox this time, this one wasn't well struck. Miller, even though she guessed way early, Cox decided to keep going in that direction. And actually, FSU thought they had won that game. They forgot they had to take one. They had to take one more penalty kick.
This is for the ACC championship right here, and it's going to be Florida State, Berglund Thorvaldsdottir, a chance to bring home the trophy for Florida State. The junior from Iceland. And the Seminoles win it. Florida State on penalty kicks, winning the ACC championship.
Well, no doubt about this one. Thorvald's daughter had so much confidence. Upper 90. Powerful shot. No way that Stearns was going to save that one.
And they have had Virginia's number last year, winning the ACC title over the Cavs. This year winning it as well. And both of these teams are going to be really interesting to watch in the NCAAs. What a great match here in Cary.
It really was an excellent match. These teams are really peaking at the right time, and they're playing each other in the championship game. It wouldn't be a surprise if we saw them in the national championship at some point, whether it's the College Cup, depending on the seedings. But, you know, up and down for both these teams, the depth, 1 through 11, 1 through 14, 15. It's just, you know, even match on every position of the field.
Well, we have seen many 1-0 matches in the history of this rivalry. This was a penalty kick win for Mark Krikorian. He'll be very happy with it. And a lot of different stars rose to their best games here in this one.
Well, yeah, it started out very offensive for both these teams, but then it became all about the defenses. And we talked about Megan Campbell and how well she played in the whole back line of Florida State and the whole back line of Virginia. It was a total team effort from both these teams. And, you know, by the end of the game, it was difficult to get any good look on frame.
Florida State getting their 15th win, the #1 RPI team heading into this ACC tournament. Will they be a #1 seed? Remains to be seen. This might be what gets them there. As you look at the ACC trophy, it's with the Seminoles again.
I think this gets them that #1 seed. And I think, you know, Virginia has a chance of getting one as well. They've just had such a strong season and stayed #1 for a lot of weeks. So it'll be interesting what happens in the selection show.
Virginia now 16-2-1. They have an ACC regular season championship. You know, you lose on penalty kicks. This is a team that is still capable of winning the whole thing this year.
Oh, yeah. You know, that's something they have to regroup. They have a lot of leaders, a lot of older players that they can just bring the team together and be like, okay, yes, we didn't win that one, but our ultimate goal this year is to win that national championship, and that's what they have to aim for, and wake up Monday morning and start looking for the NCAA tournament.
So it was billed as a close matchup, and it was right down to the wire. Penalty kicks winning it for the Florida State Seminoles as they knock off Virginia here to win the ACC championship. So from the ACC to the SEC, coming up now, we'll take you to Florida and Texas A&M. For Cat Whitehill, I'm Trey Bender saying so long from Cary, North Carolina.